Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you a fantasy comedy film, Little. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. Little is a 2019 American fantasy comedy film directed and co-written by Tina Gordon. It stars Regina Hall, Issa Rae, and Marsai Martin. The movie depicts the struggles of a young girl who is subjected to bullying. As a result, she declares that she must succeed to easily earn respect and avoid being bullied in the future, as she will be the one doing the bullying. Her experience shaped her attitude, which she later applied to everyone she met. She obtained all the riches she desired and finally fulfilled the promise she made to herself when she was 13 years old. However, a girl later casts a spell to restore her youth. As a result, Jordan reverts to her 13-year-old self. At that point, she must revert to the behavior of a 13-year-old. She relived the bullying events that she perpetrated against her colleagues when she was still young. Then she realizes that being a bully is not the way to bring about change, that being kind is a more effective way to bring about peace and love in our world. The story begins with a story recap by Jordan Sanders. Way back in 1993, she used to be a 13-year-old smart girl at Windsor Middle School. She is currently demonstrating her piece, titled Conversation of Mechanical Energy. She risks her life to demonstrate on the stage in front of many students, but sadly, a girl who often bullies her pushes the ball, and Jordan falls down when the ball collides on her body. She's expressing to her parents about her worst experiences. Bullies are everywhere. While Jordan is talking, her parents bump into her thoughts and say that bullying is typical because she is still little, but no one will bully her when she is a grown-up. Also, they say that she has the possibility to become a boss because of her intelligence, and no one bullies a boss. Jordan finds this idea fascinating, and she gets excited to be a grown-up to finally escape from the bullies against her. In this scene, Jordan is now a grown-up. Her virtual assistant gadget named Homegirl wakes her up to start her day. Jordan calls her assistant April to share how upset she is because her maid fails to put her slippers 53 centimeters away from her bed. She commands April to go to the office early, so April rushes to prepare herself. She goes to her office using a bike, and there she meets a girl who is demonstrating magic. A guy, her office mate, bumps her accidentally. Afterwards, this guy asks her if she has already sent her proposal about Discovery Eyes to Jordan, but April answers him indirectly. At this point, April is not yet ready to propose it as she feels inefficient. Jordan finally arrives in her office. To her surprise, she sees the big fish of their company named Mr. Connor. He expresses that he is waiting for her for a while to deliver his piece. He plans to take another firm and leave them. This is horrifying news for Jordan's company, so she begs him to stay, and Mr. Connor gives them 48 hours to give him fresh voices. Her team is now starting their meeting. Jordan asks everyone to tell their contributions to maintain their client, Mr. Connor. Two of her team speak to demonstrate their idea, but Jordan rejects it. She is now furious, so she dismisses the meeting before she explodes in anger. April is now taking a leap of faith. She discusses to Jordan that she has an idea, but before April finishes her words, Jordan stops her because she doesn't need any ideas from an assistant. Jordan is now upset with the outcome of their meeting. As a result, she expresses her anger by being mean to her team. She throws all the cards she sees on the table. She yells to everyone and shouts to a little girl. This little girl finds her embarrassing, mean, and rude, so she gets her wand to cast a spell. She wishes to turn this woman into a little girl again. Earlier in the morning, she wakes up and does the same routine. A guy pushes her away, and someone throws a word to make her realize her current appearance. Jordan dashes to find a mirror to see it for herself, and to her surprise, she comes back from her teenage years. April enters her condominium and sees this little girl. At first, she is hesitant about her revelations, but Jordan demonstrates her sincerity by disclosing all of April's secrets, which are known only by Jordan. Afterward, an officer from Child Protective Services enters the pictures. This officer intrigues them about the truth about this little girl. To their luck, they'd managed to filter everything, but little Jordan has to study again, and if she fails to do it, April will be imprisoned. Not long after, she and April brainstormed about her situation, and Jordan popped to her mind about the little girl who cast a spell on her. April doesn't want to believe it, but later on, she adheres to her boss's command. Then Jordan urges April to stand for her until her situation gets back to normal. April agrees but asks for some favor before she finally grants her request. She requests that she must allow her to borrow her stuff and be gentle with every word that comes out of her mouth. In this scene, April takes her to school, but when they arrive, Jordan shares her past experiences at that school. She is worried about experiencing it again. April feels her emotions and the heaviness of her past. She has no choice but to attend her classes. Jordan remains spanky, and April became enraged and spanked her buttocks. After these, she meets the principal of the school and introduces Jordan to her teacher named Mr. Marshall. April and Jordan are astonished by his stunning looks. He looks handsome and has a good physique. As a result, Jordan gets motivated to enter the class. In the classroom, Mr. Marshall introduces her to the entire class. But sadly, she receives a mean and rude welcome. Most of the class starts to bully her again. But Mr. Marshall defends her and says that he is on her side. In the pantry, Jordan is getting her meal. She finds that everyone is staring at her, and she tries to find a table to sit at, but the students seem to be mean. However, a group of friends waves their hand in the corner of that pantry, inviting her to join them. Luckily, Jordan finds a set of friends who could be her companions. There, Jordan asks them why people are laughing at her, and a girl beside her removes the straws one by one that her bully schoolmates planted. In the JSI office, April is struggling to handle the job of Jordan. She doesn't know how to manage every single area of her task, but Jordan calms her down and tells her to put on her Bluetooth earphone to guide her. During the meeting, April tries her best to lead the team meeting. However, her colleagues continue their chit-chat against their boss. They don't know that their boss heard their topic, but Jordan can't do anything about it. She hears every single word against her. Then April adheres to Jordan's command to be crazy, but still, it doesn't work. In the afternoon, Jordan and April eat at an exclusive restaurant. Jordan starts to tell that her experience at school is horrible. She keeps on saying that she doesn't want to go back there. And April remains kind and lends her ears to listen. April realizes that this girl had gone through tough times when she was little that makes her character mean today. Her attitude at the moment is just an act of defense, so she will not experience it again. Therefore, April starts to confront her negative attitude. She doesn't filter her words and remains true to her. She believes that it is the only way for her to be a good person. They leave the restaurant and continue their chit-chat at her house. April will be sleeping over at her house. While they are watching the movie, April braids the hair of Jordan. And suddenly, the lights turn dim and erotic music plays. The man of Jordan starts to strip dance in her house. April is delighted to see him. She thought Jordan hired this guy to make their night fun. But when this guy sees this little girl, he quickly dresses and makes an apology for her. He thinks that this little girl is the daughter of Jordan and starts to tell his admiration to her mother. Later on, he leaves their house. On the following day, Jordan's friends invite her to audition. But she refuses as her horrible experience on that stage is still vivid in her mind. While they are performing, Jordan sees how bad their performance is, so she immediately takes them to her house to fix them. Her friends leave, but the man of her life arrives at her house. This man enjoys having a conversation with her, and he tells her how precious her mom is to him. But he also shares how tough it is to be with her mother. But according to him, no matter what happens, he still loves her and will be at her side. Mr. Connor surprises the team while they are having a meeting. He follows up about their proposal, but since Jordan is busy, April takes over everything and starts to pitch her idea. Mr. Connor finds it promising, so he gives them a chance to prepare for 24 hours and he leaves. Jordan is at the office now. She is very disappointed with what has happened. She hasn't reviewed her proposal, which is why she is scared as she messes up Mr. Connor tomorrow. As a result, April expresses her anger to her. She confronts her that she is nasty, mean, and selfish. Jordan sees her friends post on social media attending Winchell's party. She thinks that it is not a good idea to be an audience only, so she quickly drives her car to accompany them to their performance. Jordan manages to get the attention of their audiences to give the stage for her friends. They succeed in performing and they express their gratitude to Jordan. She concludes their day by saying that it is the least that she can do for them. Not long after, April enters the scene to bring the girl who cast a spell on her. Jordan is ecstatic to see her. She apologizes and explains that she had real emotional growth. Then afterward, the girl gets her wand to cast the spell again. At night, Jordan and April are talking. Jordan starts to apologize for being mean to her, and she begins to share all her realizations from her experiences. Also, she says that she gets impressed by her ideas about Discovery Eyes. April is delighted to hear it, as it is her first time to experience Jordan listening to her pitch. Jordan starts to give her trust and allows her to dominate the presentation tomorrow. On the following day, Homegirl wakes her up again. She walks to her washroom. To her surprise, the spell works. She is now a 38-year-old woman again. She yells and jumps in joy and immediately dresses herself to go to her office. April is about to start her pitch when Jordan arrives. She speaks her piece and reintroduces April to Mr. Connor. She proudly says that April is the brain behind Discovery Eyes. But in the middle of her presentation, Mr. Connor interrupts her and leaves the meeting. Everyone now is disappointed, but Jordan doesn't get mad and encourages her. 3 months later, Jordan is now living with his man. Everyone still talks about the status of Discovery Eyes, but Jordan makes an announcement congratulating April as Discovery Eyes is now sold. Also, Discovery Eyes is now part of their history, as it is the most expensive app that they have sold. The movie ends in their office celebrating their victory. Jordan's schoolmates and the girl who cast the spell join them as well in celebrating their success. And she quotes that our world is filled with people who will try to belittle and define us, but the trick in life is not to be one of them. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your fun for today.